Hey everybody, Pete Weitzel, the Wargaming Strawman, coming at you today to talk about some more 8th edition news, 40k vehicles. From looking over the latest release from GW, vehicles will be able to have close combat. They're being brought in with weapon skills, toughness, and wounds. Wounds obviously are replacing hull points. So, with what it looks like with the close combat aspect, essentially it's just going to be like something like a rhino. It's just going to be backing up and driving you over, backing up, driving you over. But then they name specific examples like something like an orc vehicle where they're kitted out very differently than a rhino or a land raider or anything like that, where they'll have essentially attached weapons. I mean, you look at any orc vehicle, it's looted or whatever. They definitely do have like all kinds of little spikes and whatever sticking out of them, and then they have like the orc roller or whatever. I mean, those are specific, and I mean, if you were gonna run someone over, those would obviously do more damage than just a tank. I mean, if you want to look at it from the abstract perspective, I mean, if you jump out of the way of a tank, chances are if there's nothing sticking out, there's nothing gonna hit you. But if you jump out of the way of the main part of like an orc truck, I mean, there's a spike or something that could stab you or hit you or whatever. But there's no point in really talking about in the article they talked about walkers and things like that. I mean, those are obvious. They have been involved in close combat in the past editions and all that. They've they have close combat weapons and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they're still following some of the similar weapon rules, um, where they'll have the weapon skill and all that. The new stuff they're putting on vehicles, it's gonna be kind of weird to watch. I mean, what I would like to see, I mean, is a couple vehicles get into close combat with each other, like a rhino and like an Eldar hover bike or something. I mean, that would be kind of funny to watch. Um, I'm not like, I mean, there does have to be some serious abstract thinking to follow this and how it's going to work and what it's going to look like in your head. Like I said, it's like watching a rhino back up slightly and drive ahead, back up slightly, drive ahead, back up slightly, drive ahead. I mean, that would essentially be the total of their close combat ability. Um, I mean, they're not going to have amazing, from the looks of it, amazing rolls to hit in close combat, but I mean, it's still a possibility. Um, Unless you have something like a land raider and all that. And they will be able to declare charges. I mean, that's another thing. It will replace tank shock, which was in the previous edition. There's still really, really no rules on how vehicles are going to be used as transports or anything like that. That hasn't been released yet. From the GW teasers, it's supposed to be very soon. But it's definitely interesting to see how the new vehicles. I mean, some guys have said the old Rhino Rush, it's going to come back. I mean, I don't know, because the edition, it's changed so much from when the Rhino Rush was a thing. I mean, it's not the same anymore. So I don't think you'll quite see that, but you probably will see transports become totally viable as things like essentially tie-up units or giant shields for advancing infantry and behind. I mean, you could run a bunch of empty rhinos or land raiders or whatever, so, run them up the field, tie up something in front, and then have your infantry unit or whatever advance in behind and take them out, or go around or whatever. I mean, you are tying them up for at least one movement phase that they can't use, and then the next movement phase if you lock them into close combat. So I think it'll be an interesting way to see them used. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people trying to really push what they can do with them and really use them in unusual ways, especially small expendable vehicles like land speeders for the Imperium. You'll probably see those used as tie-up units and quick intercept units. I wouldn't say bikes, because I mean bikes are still kind of different, but probably more so interceptor units like the land speeder, something that moves quick, relatively points expendable. You won't feel as bad if that goes away or whatever, gets blown up. So with some of the tactics that are being proposed and things that I've seen guys talk about, it's going to be I can't wait until they see someone on the table trying this. I mean, especially with something low cost like a rhino. So that's going to do it for today. Just going to make a quick one about vehicles and the interesting abstract ideas, but with some of the practical uses that seem to be coming in behind them. Anyway, I will talk to you guys all later.